team after going for 29 against Iowa State. She's now averaging 19 points a game.
And Alabama starting off in player-to-player defense. Expect them to switch possessions 1 through 4 around the perimeter.
Shot clock down to 5. Fair, defended by Barker, who stands her ground. Good defense by Alabama, and into the hands of Nye. Sarah Ashley Barker on the spin for the first two as you take a look at the starting 5 for this Alabama team. Picked 8th in the SEC coaches preseason poll, but again, they've had a couple of impressive eye-opening early season wins. South Florida, they never trailed, and 20th ranked Louisville went down against Alabama. Georgia Woolley can't score. Put-back attempt no good. And it will be Syracuse basketball. Their starting 5 features Fair. Woolley, 4th game for her after starting the season with an injury, leading in assists, the #2 scorer. Alyssa Latham, the freshman, and Elena Rice has been red hot from outside the three-point line.
And Eric, this is the end of the floor I'm really eager to watch tonight. The Orange offense against Alabama's defense, and can Alabama keep the Orange off the offensive glass?
You have been impressed by Alabama's defense so far this season. Why is that?
This is the best defense I think Christy Curry has had during her tenure at Alabama. They're connected. I think they cover for one another really well. And this is a team that buys into it because they know it can also create offense. Sarah
Ashley Barker cashes in on the other end. She has all 5 Alabama points after knocking down her 9th three of the season. And again, Syracuse finding the sledding tough here against this Alabama defense. On the cut, though, and Sarah Ashley Barker, that's what she'll do. She takes the charge.
We talked about Alabama being connected on defense. Sarah Ashley Barker rotates over and is sitting there. And Eric, as a reminder to our fans, that arc on the floor does not apply to women's basketball anymore. The restricted area is just right under the cylinder.
On the cut to the basket. Unable to connect are the Crimson Tide, and here comes Elena Rice the other way. Batted out of bounds. They'll stay with Syracuse. Yes, that's good as we get going in the season. That's a great point. That restricted arc line you see there is invisible. However, there is an invisible line under the basket that the officials are now using as the new restricted area under the hoop. Syracuse still looking for their first points. They'll try to get second chance points here, but unable to come up with it is the freshman Alyssa Latham, and it is Alabama basketball.
And at least it's a dead ball now for Syracuse. They can get their defense set because Alabama's at their best when they get the defensive stop and they can get out and run in transition.
Sarah Ashley Barker looking for the freshman, trying to get Cody going on the inside. Cody against Varejao getting the start here today, and then little bit of bumper cars with Fair and Varejao. So a slow start for Felicia Leggett-Jack's team, but she's up. She's got the energy. She dealt with a significant health scare that kept her sidelined for the first 3 weeks of the season, kept her seated on the bench when she was on the bench, but she's up and has that usual Coach Jack energy here so far. Latham back out to Varejao.
So far for the Orange, their offense is just really slow developing. Credit Alabama's defense. Syracuse needs to have more flow on the offensive end and force Alabama into some rotations.
Oh, that's going to be foul number 2 on Essence Cody on the trip. Christy Curry now in her 11th season as Alabama's head coach, and she's going to have to pull out her talented 6'4" freshman just 3 minutes and 10 seconds into this game. How does that change things for Bama, Christy?
Well, you know, Christy Curry was raving about Essence Cody this morning. She said Essence Cody has made our screen on the ball defense so much better because of her ability to defend. Eager to see now, how does the defense have to be adjusted with Cunningham coming into the game?
First points for Syracuse come from freshman Alyssa Latham. Jana Cunningham, as Christy mentioned, is in the game for Essence Cody. The feed inside, trying to get Cunningham an early touch, won't drop, and the rebound for Woolley.
And that's the third low post touch for Alabama. They have not been able to convert any of them yet.
Open look and another 2 for Latham. Averaging 9 points a game so far, the freshman from Glenwood, Illinois, who's been very good on the glass as well. #1 rebounder for this Syracuse team.
I mean, there's athletic, and then there's Latham athleticism. I mean, she's so explosive off the ground as she gets another rebound.
Leah Nye can't get that to drop, and here comes Fair, defended by McQueen. Fair doesn't need much room to get free, and she knocks down the triple. First points for Dyaisha Fair, 39% from outside the three-point line, a 7-0 run for Cuse.
One of our game's best players at being able to create her own shot, regardless of the defense.
Offensive foul. Timmons whistled for the charge.
I think players on both sides need to start making an adjustment, realizing that these teams are well connected defensively. They're rotating. I thought the defender was there well in advance. Timmons should have pulled up.
First 5 points of the game scored by Sarah Ashley Barker. Syracuse has answered back with 4 from Latham, 3 from Fair. Deljanae Williams on the floor as well for Alabama. She's guarding Fair. Georgia Woolley on the pull-up. That's short. I don't think anybody got a piece. Nice try by Verajao, but it'll be Alabama basketball.
Woolley came off that screen open, but because of the switch by Alabama, she was well contested on that shot. Again, another great example of how well Alabama's playing defensively. Now can they convert on the offensive end?
Williams, good shooter here in Nye. Williams will try from deep. 3 for 19 now on the season for the grad student from Detroit. She had a good game against Liberty last time out. 9 points, 4 assists, 2 steals in 22 minutes, providing a spark off the bench and ending the 7-0 Syracuse run. Slow going again in the half court for Syracuse. Fair on the run, no. McQueen's got the rebound. McQueen, little hesitation. Strong drive to the basket, everything but the hoop, but Sarah Ashley Barker's there. Second chance for Alabama. That three's no good, and the rebound controlled by Alyssa Latham.
Horn set here by the Orange. Expect Alabama to switch off of it.
Fair on the dribble. Beautiful dish. Give the assist to Fair. Give the basket to Latham. She's got 6.
Sarah Ashley Barker got caught watching the dribble penetration. Heads up move by the freshman to flash to the basket for that easy 2. Eric, Alabama right now 1 for 4 on shots at the rim, shooting a better percentage from 3 than on layups.
Beautifully done by Fair, and it results in a foul on McQueen. Slow start. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. 3:25 to go, first quarter. Tight so far between Syracuse and Bama. Bama scored the game's first 5 points. Syracuse went on a 7-0 run. Bama with a little pressure out of the media timeout. Sophie Burrows, freshman, into the game for Syracuse. Fair will show her range and drain a 3.
Eric, both coaches talked about how they wanted to switch up their defenses here this evening. It doesn't matter what defense you're in, though. You got to know where the star players are, and you've got to close out hard, and Fair made Alabama pay on that last possession.
Carly Weathers into the game for Alabama. McQueen, offensive foul, no baskets. That'll be her second personal foul. So 2 on McQueen. She'll go to the bench. And 2 on Cody.
And this is just great team defense. The rotation is there. This is what I'm saying. I think both teams are trying to be overly aggressive at getting to the rim. They've got to read the rotations defensively and either kick out or pull up short. Alabama going to their 1-2-2 full court press now.
Pass over the head of Varejao. Fair almost got there to save it. Turnover by Syracuse. Syracuse had just 5 turnovers against Iowa State. Big reason why they won 81-69 to go 2-0 in Vegas. They beat UNI 71-54 in their other game out west. Strong move, that won't drop. Varejao with the rebound off the miss by Cunningham. Fair calls for the Latham screen. Varejao. Skip it, and another turnover for Cuse. That's number 5 for the Orange. Meg Newman, number 42, into the game for Alabama. And Sarah Ashley Barker is going to come back into the game. I don't think you can overstate how important Sarah Ashley Barker is to what Alabama needs to do and wants to do on both ends of the floor.
Absolutely. I mean, she's the catalyst for the toughness, the connectivity that Alabama has on defense. And so I wasn't surprised that Christy Curry gave her that blow around the media timeout, because I think especially now with the foul trouble of Essence Cody, she has to be able to stay on the floor.
That's tipped out of bounds by Syracuse. It'll be Alabama basketball. Now, Sarah Ashley is not 100%. She's been under the weather, and I don't think there was any chance she was going to miss an opportunity here to try to help out the SEC against the ACC and winning some bragging rights. Turnover by Timmons. And another turnover by Syracuse. Alabama needs to get Nye going. She's been an outstanding shooter from outside. There's Barker working with Newman. Couple of overtime games to get things going here on a Thursday night. Duke needed overtime to win in Athens, 72-65 the final, so that is win number 5 out of the first 6 games for the SEC. After a pretty dominant night last night, Notre Dame was down by 16 and won in Knoxville against Tennessee. Louisville won by 6 at Ole Miss. Miami won by 6 at Mississippi State. Some pretty impressive wins. NC State knocked off Vandy for the other ACC win yesterday. Sarah Ashley Barker to the basket. Another one that rolls off the rim. Kyra Wood holds on to the rebounds. Final minute, first quarter here at the Dome.
And Eric, this is the coach in me. You got to make free throws. You got to make layups. And right now, Alabama 2 of 7. If you're going to come on the road and win, you've got to convert the bunnies.
Kyra Wood converts on the inside for her first points, coming off a double-double against Iowa State at 13 and 10. Here's Nye. That one will drop. Aaliyah Nye, outstanding three-point shooter. That is her 21st made 3 already. Final 4 seconds for Syracuse. Fair look to make the extra pass. Count it. Dyaisha Fair's played a lot of basketball. Barker cooked it to the corner. Nye for 3. No. Woolley the rebound. Woolley shut off by Nye. That won't drop. And the rebound pulled down by Cunningham.
I love how Latham moves without the ball. That's the second time she's cut without the ball to the rim. Just that time couldn't finish.
Nye has it swatted away. Shot clock down to 7. Wide open look here for Timmons. That won't drop. Nye fighting for the rebound, and it's last touched by Syracuse. It'll be Bama ball. All right, so a decision being made here by Christy Curry as she is going to bring in Loyal McQueen. McQueen with 2 personal fouls. But she is a senior, so Christy Curry with a little message, I'm sure, saying, let's be careful out there.
I'm sure she said don't over-penetrate. Like, try to be a facilitator right now. But I think this was as much to give Nye a break as anything.
Barker on the drive will head to the free throw line to shoot a couple.
Great job by Barker to come into that jump stop to get the defender to go airborne, and then was able to draw the foul.
Kyra Wood picks up the personal, and Sarah Ashley Barker will go to the free throw line. This is a Bama team that lived by the 3 a season ago. They made 9 a game, but Christy Curry thinks this team's going to have a lot more success the more they get to the free throw line instead of shooting from the 3-point line this year.
Absolutely, because people like Sarah Ashley Barker can create offense by getting to the free throw line. And when Alabama gets to the free throw line, they can extend to their full court pressure, as we're seeing here.
7 points for Barker. Fair, another deep 3. This won't drop. Rebound for Latham. We welcome those of you who watched Virginia take down Mizzou in overtime. Welcome to the JMA Dome in Syracuse. Georgia Woolley with a basket for Syracuse, who fell behind 5-0 in the opening minutes of this game against Alabama. But Cuse has settled in. They're on top by 3 in what we expect to be a very tight game here, Christy Thomas-Gutty.
Absolutely. A lot of what we expected in terms of Sarah Ashley Barker starting off strong for Alabama, and then just a balanced attack by Syracuse. Dyaisha Fair is continuing to do Dyaisha Fair things, but so far for Alabama, it has been their inability to convert at the rim, but this time Meg Newman is able to.
Second field goal for the sophomore from Indianapolis who transferred in from Arizona State. 2 Alabama players with 2 fouls. Loyal McQueen, who is on the floor playing with 2, the point guard. And Essence Cody, the freshman post, picked up 2 early fouls in the first quarter, and she remains on the bench.
I would love to see Fair give Latham the ball moments sooner, but it doesn't matter because Latham is on a tear here this evening.
She's into double figures with 10 to go along with 5 rebounds. The freshman from Glenwood, Illinois, who's off to a very impressive start in her collegiate career.
Well, coming into tonight, I thought Latham would be a tough matchup for Alabama. Barker is playing the forward, or that small, the big forward, and she's undersized. And Latham's jumping ability makes her a tough matchup.
Kyra Wood with the rebound. Dyaisha Fair with the push to Georgia Woolley. Drop back, Latham. Inside, outside, it doesn't matter. She's a freshman who's got a ton of confidence, and Syracuse has their largest lead.
I'll say that is Latham's first made 3 of the season. The basket is looking huge to Latham right now.
Syracuse was 7 of 14 from the floor in the first half. Barker on the drive, no. And the rebound controlled by Sophie Burrows for Syracuse.
And Latham won't get any credit for the rebound, but she had a great box out on Newman to make sure her teammate was able to get that rebound.
Dyaisha Fair, the leading scorer for a 2nd consecutive year for Syracuse, averaging 19 points a game. She's got 6 on a couple of threes, make it 9 on 3 threes. Timeouts, Alabama. Syracuse has stretched it out to a 9-point advantage here in the second quarter, thanks to an 8-0 run. ACC Women's College Basketball is presented by Ally. Whatever you're saving for, we're all better off
without the ball. She's been great on the glass with 5 rebounds, but my favorite shot so far for Latham. That's her first made 3 of the season.
I have a feeling it was her favorite shot.
It was definitely her coach's. She jumped up and down.
Latham stood out against Maryland. 11 points, 8 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds in that game. Syracuse was close against Maryland, lost by 2. Game that had 12 ties and 21 lead changes. You see who's back in the game for Alabama. Essence Cody, the freshman, with the 2 personal fouls.
Syracuse is going to have numbers.
Burrows kicks it to the corner, 3 on the way. That won't drop. From Woolley. To the left hand, the finish by Kyra Wood. 10-0 run for Cuse.
Syracuse has done it from 3, but to this point in the game, that is their 16th point paint compared to Alabama's 6.
Barker dribbling into trouble. That won't drop down. Alabama's missed quite a few in the paint. That's going to be a travel on Woolley, and the 8th turnover for Syracuse. To wrap up a night of ACC-SEC Challenge matchups. Coming up next, we have Texas A&M taking on Wake Forest right here on the ACC Network and also on the ESPN app. A&M's on a bit of a run, Christy. They've won 3 in a row to go to 5-1 on the season.
I mean, the transfers for Texas A&M are coming up big, accounting for over 50% of their points per game.
Lid on the hoop right now for Alabama. Scoreless for over 3 minutes. Deljanae Williams into the game for the Crimson Tide. Fair, she's been hot, still hot. 4th three-pointer for Dyaisha Fair. She's got 12. 13-0 Syracuse run. Cody inside for 2. Gives you a little glimpse of what this freshman can do.
Well, I thought Essence Cody really grew up this past week in Katy, Texas for the Crimson Tide. Each game got better and better. Christy Curry telling us today, we just want her to get meaner and demand the basketball.
Yeah, it sounds like she's too nice, but you know, she's just a respectful freshman from Valdosta, Georgia. Nice finish by Loyal McQueen. So after the 13-0 run, Alabama punching back here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, I appreciate that both Loyal McQueen and Essence Cody are making their presence felt. Head coach has faith in them to put them back in with those 2 fouls, and they're playing smart basketball so far.
Another entry pass off the mark. Syracuse has piled up the turnovers, that's for sure. 9 turnovers so far. Can Christy Curry's team take advantage is the question.
Well, 2 things I've noticed from Syracuse defense so far. They've been to the offensive player on the catch. And what I mean by that is Alabama's had some looks, but they've closed the margin up very quickly so they can't get shots off. And we're seeing the Orange in that 1-3-1 half-court defense now.
Nye, excellent shooter, not this time. Cody very close to picking up foul number 3.
I wish you could have seen Christy Curry's face when Cody went up for that rebound.
That's Latham on the travel. Another turnover for Syracuse. Inside of 3 minutes to go, first half. Already 2 overtime games tonight in the ACC-SEC Challenge. Virginia and Duke picking up OT wins. Virginia at home, Duke in Athens at Georgia. And a foul called here on Williams. That's number 1. If you weren't with us at the very top of the telecast, Christy talked about how these 2 teams have gotten off to pretty good starts in non-conference play. Alabama had the win against USF and big, won by 29 over South Florida. We know Jose Fernandez year after year has a very good team that's going to be good at the end of the year. Louisville was a team that lost to Alabama. Barker on the drive will earn a trip to the free throw line. And for Syracuse, they're coming off a win over Iowa State in Las Vegas on Saturday, and we mentioned before they were very close against Maryland. So the results so far for Alabama and Syracuse have been encouraging for 2 teams who would like to be above the middle of the pack in their respective conferences.
Well, your opinion matters, but I think this time of year, Charlie Cream's opinion matters more. And Charlie has Syracuse.
I know to defer to Charles I don't know if that's his middle initial, Cream, 365 days a year. I know he's watching. Or he'll be watching on tape later.
Absolutely. Syracuse, one of the last 4 teams in. He's got Alabama as an 8th seed right now. But this is why I love the ACC SEC Challenge. It's giving all the teams -1 in the ACC each year because they have more teams an opportunity to get a quality win that helps propel them into conference season.
You know, it's funny that you can use it as a springboard into conference play, which is still a month away, a little less than that, obviously, for Syracuse. Well, actually, it's a month away. They're playing New Year's Eve. But it's hard to say, well, here on the last day of November, this game could matter on Selection Sunday. These two teams would like to be nice and comfortably into the NCAA tournament, but you don't know. It could come down to a game like today determining what their NCAA tournament future is.
Well, we know that both the SEC and ACC are loaded, and nothing is a given on any night. And so you're looking for the differential, those things that can separate you. And a win in this kind of challenge is important as we see Latham continue to show that, yeah, call me a freshman again.
Just before the shot clock expired, Latham scores again, 15 points for her. That matches her career high.
And this 1-3-1 is starting to give Alabama credit. They just got stagnant with the ball.
McQueen to Nye, gets an open look for a 3. They need that. They get that from Aaliyah Nye. 45% from outside the arc last season, which was 7th in Division I, 39% so far this year. Much needed 3 for Bama.
Nye's averaging just under 3 made threes a game right now, already with 2 here in the first half.
Fair couldn't get it, tipped away as Barker and Nye were fighting for it. Open look out of the scramble, missed by Woolley. McQueen wants to push, remember, playing with the 2 personal fouls. Another one in close, missed by Alabama.
Alabama now 5 of 13 for shots right at the rim.
Bears out on the post up. Couldn't get it to go. Woolley ripped it away from Nye. Final minute, first half.
And Eric, that offensive rebound by Woolley is an example of why I think she's just so important to the Orange. She does so many little things defensively, offensively to help this team.
Dyaisha Fair has 14 first half points.
Well, Woolley does what she does, so Dyaisha Fair can do what she does.
And what does she do?
Score.
Score, and score some more. Shot clock off. Alabama looking for a final hoop here. Sarah Ashley Barker. Newman couldn't handle the pass. McQueen has it knocked away. Down to 2. Nye open look for 3. Is good at the buzzer. Turns around. Lena Rice, number 3 scorer for this Syracuse team, did not score in the first half. See if she tries to get going here in the first possession. They do try to get her going, but she can't score. Nye. Skip it over to Jessica Timmons, who stepped out of bounds. Turnover number 7 for Alabama.
The look on Christy Curry's face with that turnover said it all. It's those little things right now for Alabama. Timmons thinks she has a wide open 3, but she's stepping on the inline.
Essence Cody and Loyal McQueen picked up 2 fouls in the first half, and Christy Curry put them back into the game with those 2 fouls, and that helped them stay within shouting distance, certainly, of the Syracuse team.
I mean, hats off for that coaching decision by Alabama, because otherwise Syracuse had all the momentum and they were running away with the game.
Rice picks up the foul, her first. There's Cody on the inside. No, Christy just talked about it. Missing the layups. Shots on the inside costing Alabama. Still, after all those misses, down by 6, make it 9. Farajao, her first points for 3.
She throws her hands up like finally, because that is only her second made 3 here on the season. Alabama slow with that pass. They had Cody open.
Barker won't miss this drive to the basket. Into double figures now with 11 to lead Alabama. Tipped by Nye. fight for the loose ball, controlled by Syracuse. Fair, hesitation. The feed to Woolley. Woolley's got it back, and she'll head to the free throw line.
You saw some veteran plays there by Syracuse. Fair attacking the rim, knowing they had numbers, saw the rotation, then got Woolley on the weak side flashing. Woolley, knowing she didn't have the layup, jump stopped in order to get the defender in the air.
Timmons picks up her second personal foul, and Georgia Woolley, junior from Australia, in her second season now with Syracuse after starting her career with Coach Jack at Buffalo. Made her season debut against Maryland after missing the first 3 with injury. Played pretty well against the Terps on November 19th. 21 points, 8 rebounds, pretty good debut. Excellent free throw shooter. Perfect on the season, 18 for 18. And Syracuse back on top by 9. Skip it over McQueen, launches the 3. That three-point shot has been key for Alabama tonight.
And McQueen had been struggling from 3 as well. And I mean, again, right now, if I'm Alabama, I just move the ball around the perimeter the way they're shooting from deep.
Alabama 6 of 11 from outside the three-point line. And they average 6 makes a game so far this season.
Christy Curry said, we need to get our three-point shooting going. We're making them in practice. We just haven't converted consistently in games yet.
Verajao.
Eric, I got to believe some of the message by Syracuse at halftime is we got to get other players involved. Of the 35 points, 29 were just Latham and Fair, and you're seeing Verajao come out big, and you've seen as well Rice try to get going.
Alabama aggressive on the defense again. 3-on-1 back the other way. Sarah Ashley Barker with the finish. Crimson Tide turning defense into offense to make it a 4-point game.
And Eric, when they get offense, they can set up in the full court pressure, which they've already forced 2 turnovers in this half.
Rice with a look away to Verajao. Rice hasn't scored yet, but she'll get her teammates involved, and Verajao's got 7 all here in the second half. She's got 7 of the 9 for Cuse.
Well, I stand by how important the 3 starting guards for Syracuse are, because you can't double them. It's hard to press them because you got 3 good ball handlers on the floor.
Cody with the spin inside gets the contact, and she'll go to the line to shoot 2. Foul on Verajao.
I appreciate that Cody has not lost her aggressiveness after the 2 quick fouls. I mean, that time, dropped that shoulder a little bit on the initial move, stayed with it to draw the foul.
Demand the ball is what you said Christy Curry wants her to do. Free throw line for the freshman, McDonald's All-American.
And Eric, demanding the ball is not just verbally saying, give it to me. It's also what I've seen her start to do is point where she wants the ball to go. So if the ball's at the top of the key, she's pointed to the wing because she knows how her seals are going. And that's part of the growth for this young post player.
Gianna Cunningham in for Cody after the made free throw. They are trapping Fair in the corner. She got rid of it. Latham had the great first half. Will try to add to her total at the free throw line. 15 points for the freshman on 7 of 8 shooting in that first half.
But Eric, that's a freshman post player who flashed to the ball, saw that her point guard was getting doubled in Fair, came from the weak side to be a presence, and bailed the Orange out in that play.
Well, the fact that Alyssa Latham has started each game so far for Syracuse career will give you an idea what the coaching staff thinks of her abilities. You watched plenty of film, and now you've had a chance to see her in person. What are your impressions so far of Alyssa Latham?
Even better in person. I mean, I saw the athleticism on film, her quickness in terms of getting offensive rebounds or defensive box outs, her strength. This young lady's just going to be special. 16
points, 7 rebounds. New career high for Latham. Sarah Ashley Barker steps into another three for Alabama. 7 of 12 from outside the three-point line, and it's a 2-point game. Rice on the hesitation. Good defense by Cunningham, and then tipped out of bounds by Syracuse. It's Alabama basketball.
Weren't you the one talking about how would the depth perception affect Alabama from three today? I think that's what it was you, right?
That was you. To be honest, you walk into the Dome for a shoot-around. If you haven't been here before, you're like, well, is this going to throw things off? And we talked with Christy Curry about that. She's like, no. The girls walked in here. They're like, this is so cool. I can't wait to shoot in this building. And you know what? Don't wake them up. If you're Alabama,
absolutely,
they have loved it so far shooting here at the Dome.
Well, Christy Curry said, we didn't even talk about it. So when the girls were excited, yeah, exactly.
Williams tried to tie it, could not, and here is Fair with the rebound, looking for her first points of the second half. Alabama has been swarming her. Woolley, more good defense from the Crimson Tide. Into the hands of Williams, another chance to tie or go in front with a three. Barker off the bounce, ties it at 45. From down 14 to even at 45, and now a foul called on Woolley. And that will get us to a timeout with 4:59 to go in the third quarter. Defense to offense for Bama.
And Alabama came in as one of the top defensive teams in the country, and you're seeing why. Selfness getting on.
Welcome back. It's B week. It's a tie game, 45-45 here in the third quarter between Alabama and Syracuse. Eric and Christy back with you here courtside. This is when I'm always happy to say that I'm sitting next to a cancer survivor, Christy Thomas-Gutty. It did force you into retirement as a head coach, and it forced you to sit next to me. But, I mean, it is amazing because early detection really made a big difference for you.
Absolutely. I just went in for a routine physical, and my doctor just thought my thyroid looked a little large. I was feeling fine. Otherwise, never would have known. And mine had spread. And I'm thankful for the doctor who found it. I'm thankful for all the surgeons who took care of me. But most importantly, I'm thankful for the research that was already present to help save my life, because I am here today because of early detection and because of foundations like Jimmy V that is working diligently to find a cure. So any help is greatly appreciated by all of us.
Highlighting the urgent need for cancer research. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. And I am always very thankful to be sitting next to a beneficiary of that research that's made a difference in so many lives.
Alabama came out of the break and gets called for that illegal screen on the ball action by Meg Newman, and Syracuse getting Woolley in here because Fair's shaken up.
Oh, now carrying Dyaisha Fair off the court. Oh, this is an alarming development for Syracuse. Their leading scorer, first team all-conference in the ACC last year, member of the all-defensive team. Carried, and let's keep an eye on that left leg. Kind of getting locked up with Meg Newman setting the screen.
Woolley switching over into the pseudo point guard role now with Fair on the bench.
Rice off the mark now, 0 for 3 from the field. Still looking for her first points, averaging 15 a game on the season.
Great hedge by Latham off the on-ball screen there.
Newman feeds it inside. Cody, the freshman, can't get it to drop. Doesn't give up. Still fighting, pulled away by Kyra Wood for Syracuse. Woolley on the spin and the finish. Been a cold shooting night for Georgia Woolley. 2 for 9, but she put Syracuse in front.
Woolley just has great basketball IQ, and she has a knack for making the right plays at the right time for this team.
Three-pointer, Williams. This one won't drop for Alabama. Syracuse on the run in transition. Woolley. You can see top left of your screen, Fair limping to the end of the bench. And keeping one eye over there just on her progress. Wild shot won't drop. Didn't hit the rim, so no reset. Woolley just now realizing it. Gets off a shot in time. On the offensive glass, count it, and the foul. A chance for a three-point play for Kyra Wood.
Kyra Wood does not give up on this play. You see her come in from the high post area, just tracks that ball so well and puts it in through contact.
So with Wood going to the free throw line, Dyaisha Fair goes to the bike. So encouraging to see some movement there, certainly. Lane violation called on Syracuse. I think it was Sophie Burrows got whistled for it. There is Fair. It's interesting. Sarah Ashley Barker gets into the game. She is the glue for the Alabama team. Dyaisha Fair is the glue for the Syracuse team. That glue piece is on the bench right now for Syracuse. Can these other pieces stay together and keep an advantage here for Cuse? Now up by 4. Barker back on the floor for Bama.
Well, and you talk about Barker being the glue. Christy Curry, great block by Latham.
How about that closeout by the freshman? Add it to her highlight reel, and here comes Cuse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's no stat for what Syracuse has been doing consistently, moving on passes, getting there on closeouts to try to take away shots by Alabama, and Latham with that huge block.
Fair heading down the runway at the moment for Syracuse, so we'll keep an eye on her progress. And that's going to be a foul called on Aaliyah Nye of Alabama, trying to keep Latham off the boards.
Alabama guards undersized on these box outs because they're switching, and Nye gets underneath Latham there. The correct call by the officials.
Latham hit the deck hard, but oh, to be young.
Oh, to be on a tear like she is tonight. Nothing's
You're not going to feel the pain. No, the adrenaline's flown right now for the freshman. Came into this game averaging just under 8 rebounds a game. She's got 10 tonight, a double-double, 16 and 10. Make it 17 and 10 for the freshman.
Won a career high in points already here this evening as well.
So after Alabama had come back to tie it at 45, 6 straight points for Syracuse.
Alabama's got numbers.
They've missed their last 4 field goal attempts. Open look for 3. That's short. May have been a piece of it from Latham. And off the scramble, it will be Syracuse basketball. I'm going to give Latham a block on that one. I think she got a piece.
She totally got it.
Okay, good. I'm looking for the validation here. That's back-to-back blocks on 3-point attempts. Inside, Wood with the basket. An 8-0 run for Syracuse.
Assist by Woolley. Draws the charge here.
The foul on McQueen is her 3rd. Of note, Syracuse has done this with Fair on the bench. The other players have stepped up here for Cuse.
Well, when you were talking about that earlier, could they, would they? I believe in Woolley's ability. I believe in Rice's ability from the guard perspective. And you've seen those 2 young ladies become more assertive in Fair's absence.
Woolley drops it down to Latham, of course. 20 points for the first time and what will not be the last time in Alyssa Latham's career. That won't drop. The rebound for Wood. Syracuse dominating on the glass tonight. They are a +20 in rebounding margin right now.
Well, and probably just as important for Syracuse is that they had 11 offensive rebounds, Eric, in which they've been able to create 10 points, which is really the difference in the game right now.
So Latham on the turnover, final minute, third quarter.
Does Alabama have another run in them?
Barker with the pass. Good finish by Essence Cody, and the foul.
And I think right now that's the way Alabama needs to set Cody up. Off the dribble penetrations where she's already forced. In the positions where she's had to turn around and score over Syracuse defenders, she's struggled here this evening.
Over a 4-minute drought for Alabama. They turn to the McDonald's All-American, part of a very solid class, very solid recruiting class for Bama.
Absolutely. I mean, it's disappointing Naomi Jones is out with a lower leg injury and is day-to-day right now for Alabama because she's another special player for the Crimson Tide. Speaking of special players.
Sarah Ashley Barker takes the charge. The foul on Rice in the final minute of the third quarter. McQueen to trigger the inbound. Dyaisha Fair back on the bike after walking back towards the locker area for a moment.
Timmons knew she had the mismatch with Latham, so put the ball on the floor but couldn't get anything.
Timmons. Oh, beautiful pass through the legs to Essence Cody for two. And a jump ball tie-up possession arrow will give it to Alabama.
I mean, Eric, how important has it been for Alabama to score here this evening? Because when they score, they've been able to get in their press. When they get in their press, they've been really fortuitous in forcing some turnovers.
Syracuse has had 3 quick turnovers here in the last minute 17.
Shot clock is off. Christy Curry's telling Nye, let's get the last shot.
They put it in the hands of Timmons. As the clock winds down to 15.
Watch for Nye after this little flat, high on-ball screen to pop out for the three.
Timmons.
She had her. Timmons over-penetrated.
Now back deep. Nye does get a look for three. Battle for the loose ball. Burrows fought in there for Syracuse, and that is it. For the sets up in the zone to start the fourth. Sarah Ashley Barker. Timmons on the pull-up.
So it could have been a 4-point swing. Syracuse gets away with only giving up the 2.
But after the make, pressure in the backcourt again. Timmons with her first points of the game. Barker pressure from behind. That's Latham, the freshman, who brought it across half court. And Woolley finishes.
You sound surprised that Latham made a big play, Eric.
I'm not surprised. I'm impressed. But we work together enough where you understand my inflection between surprised and impressed. Sarah Ashley Barker, no. Syracuse basketball.
Well, while you were impressed, what I've come to expect in Latham was that a trap was coming, and a lot of young players would just pick the ball up. She kept going and fed Woolley the ball.
Again, pressure from Alabama. Opening minute, fourth quarter. No problem for Syracuse to break the pressure. Woolley can't score, but on the offensive glass, Wood gives Cuse second chance opportunity.
Wood and Latham both are just so aggressive at attacking the offensive glass.
Fair, no. Guess who's on the glass again? That's Wood. Open three, Burrows. Cody with the rebound. Alabama wants to push in transition. McQueen, Syracuse with a breakdown defensively in transition, and McQueen missed the bunny.
I know I've been a broken record here this evening. 11 for 23 on shots at the rim for Alabama here in this game.
Missed free throws, missed layups, costly, and Syracuse chance to extend the lead. And Christy Curry and Alabama now down by 7. Timeout here at the Dome. 8:05 to go in the fourth quarter. Syracuse trying to give the ACC.
And Eric, I've talked about how important it is for Woolley to be back. Fundamental play here, an attack by Woolley. She catches the ball, gathers, attacks the top foot of the defender to pin the defender behind her, which gives her the alley to get down. See, that's a nice reference to the sponsor. A nice alley to get downhill and get to the rim.
You and your homonyms.
Eric, both these coaches have had their teams prepared. Out of every time out, they switched up defenses, and the offenses have been prepared. Hats off to the coaches.
Good job by Alabama, but Cody got in a little too deep, couldn't do much with it. And his last touch by Syracuse, it'll be Bama basketball. Georgia Woolley coming back into the game for Syracuse. Timmons to trigger the inbound for Bama. For Williams. Back to Nye. Hasn't scored in the second half. Sarah Ashley Barker. Little fake. Made some space. No. And again, it's touched by Syracuse. I think the officials are going to get together and see how much time should be on the shot clock here. Eight on the shot clock. Oh, we had a couple of overtime games earlier today. South Carolina, after a slow start, on top of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. How about Arkansas up by 20 over Florida State? And still to come tonight on ESPN, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Final Four rematch between Virginia Tech and LSU. Trip to the free throw line coming for Elena Rice. Chance to get her first points of the night. First personal foul on Sarah Ashley Barker. So she steps to the free throw line. Give me your scouting report for this Virginia Tech LSU top 10 showdown coming up at the top of the hour.
Well, Virginia Tech's just been a little off ever since that Iowa game. I mean, they had to squeak out 2 wins in the Thanksgiving tournament over Tulane, and I apologize, I can't remember the other team. But they were very low scoring. I think right now the key for Virginia Tech, can they get a consistent third scorer to back up both Kit and Amore?
So you mean to tell me the one team you're going to remember is your alma mater, Tulane? That was my takeaway.
They were up, and it was a heartbreaker that they lost.
That's my takeaway.
And then, I mean,
well, Liz
we can't not talk about LSU.
Well, Liz Kitley, first of all, ACC Player of the Week, averaged 26 and 12 in 3 wins, including 31, 18, and 5 against Kansas.
And that's the key. How does LSU, without Samaya Smith, slow down Elizabeth Kitley?
Latham with the block. Another block for Latham.
They're going to have to get post play like Latham to slow down Kitley tonight.
Well, they're getting in, as you mentioned, Angel Reese returning to the court for LSU. Corner 3 is good. Carly Weathers knocks down the 3, her first points. Weathers is 7 for her last 10 from outside the three-point line. Remember, the three-point shot was big for Alabama to keep them close early in the game. They fell behind by 14. But Christy Curry's team, they have some three-point shooters out there, so they're not out of it. Certainly in a 5-point game, but even if Syracuse stretched it out a little bit, Alabama could shoot themselves quickly back into a game.
Absolutely. I mean, Alabama right now in this game, 8 of 16. Nice to see Carly Weathers get her 3 to go. I mean, she's coming off a big weekend. She shot 67% down in Katy, Texas, so they need to get her going offensively as well.
Fair off balance for 2.
I mean, it's a tough matchup for anyone to defend Dyaisha Fair, but that's a really tough matchup. Really big ask of Nye to try to contain her. He kept her in front of her, but Fair's ability to create space with a step back just nullifies what she gives up in that 5'5" stature.
16 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists for Fair. Those were her first points in the second half. Turnover taken away by Rice. Woolley for 3. Knocked out of the hands of Weathers. Syracuse with it back. Rice knocks it down. Timeout, Alabama. Elena Rice was 0 for 4 from the field. And a correction, it looked like timeout was called, and there is a little confusion on the court right now.
Well, the ball got knocked, and so it was going up the floor. That's why the officials blew the whistle. And it's fortuitous for Alabama because this allows Christy Curry to get Sarah Ashley Barker and Essence Cody back in the game without having to call a timeout.
Everyone was acting, though, like there was a timeout, right? I wasn't just seeing things.
No, I think because of the momentum, I think it's a great assumption.
We play on. 5.5 to go, fourth quarter. Barker tries to find Cody. Cody, no. Cody not done, and she'll head to the free throw line.
Great job by Essence Cody on the high pass to Sarah Ashley Barker to get position to present her for that lob. And this is where Cody has to grow. She's got to be able to finish. She's struggled here from the field this evening. 3-11 from the field and all right at the rim.
Alabama 0 for 4 from the free throw line here in this quarter.
And as we've seen, what's so bad about missing that free throw, the second of the two free throws, prevents Alabama from extending that full court pressure.
Fair drops it down to Wood, who draws a crowd. Shot clock winding down. Ripped down by Cody. McQueen. Syracuse gets back quickly on defense. Barker. Latham's already blocked a couple of shots. Kyra Wood was trying to size one up, and there is Cody on the inside for 2. 11.6 rebounds now for freshman Essence Cody. Fair. One-woman press break, but can't finish. McQueen takes it away from Woolley.
Oh, McQueen missed. Nye in the corner, wide open for that 3.
And then tried to throw it in the other corner to Timmons and threw it away. Timeout on the floor. This time, I know I'm right. 4:15 to go in the fourth quarter in an 8-point game. ACC women's basketball is presented by Ally. Went above and beyond and did the dirty work, earning the hard hat. Who would earn the hard hat here today for doing the little things for this Syracuse team, in your estimation, Kristen?
I honestly would give it to Kyra Wood. Her ability to get on the glass, because again, it's the little things, especially here in the second half when Alabama's made runs. She's been so aggressive at getting on the glass to extend possessions here for the Orange.
She is the second Syracuse player into double figures with rebounding. Are you going to give Olivia the hard hat? She's the one who bedazzled the hard hat.
Well, again, some players will work on their shot during shoot-arounds. Olivia Cuervo worked on the hard hat throughout shoot-around today, getting it bedazzled back up to the Orange standards.
The media relations person for Syracuse and so much more. Was that bedazzling? Am I dating myself? Do you bedazzle a helmet, or is that just like clothing?
Based on the little diamonds, okay, not real diamonds, but the pseudo diamonds she was putting on, I would say bedazzled.
Okay. Timmons scored on one end, and then Rice, who was quiet in the first half, making some noise here in the fourth quarter, scores on the other end. And then Fair knocks it away. Woolley back to guess who? Dyaisha Fair. Timeout, Alabama. We saw Alabama turning defense into offense. Syracuse doing that, and Coach Jack out to half court to praise her team in a 10-point game.
I know where to find all the holiday deals.
What?
This season, get ready for big savings.
20 to 60% off.
Oh my deals.
And find all the gifts.
Respect the deal.
Respect the deal.
For way less.
I definitely believe in savings.
Bring in the new deal.
And so does everyone on this couch.
The holidays start with savings at Ross.
Yeah, there's that.
Syracuse turning up the defense. They've been great on the glass all night, now forcing turnovers and turning those turnovers into points.
Well, they've taken away passing lanes, and that's what they did to get the deflection. Woolley with the lead pass to Fair. You know if Fair's getting that close to the rim, it's going to be 2.
Fair now with 18. Alabama out of the timeout, needs something here. They go to Barker. Barker on the penetration, a kick to Nye, no. And the rebound, who else? Alyssa Latham's got her 11th rebound of the night.
And starts the break.
And Nye almost stole it, ran out of room. It's Syracuse basketball. Again, a lot of time left in this game for an Alabama team that was making threes earlier, but they have been unable to heat up from outside the three-point line here in the second half.
Well, I feel like every time Alabama started to get some momentum, either Syracuse has come up with the big shot or Alabama has started to turn the ball over. It's hard to get momentum going back in your favor when that's happening. Good call.
And a foul's going to be called on Latham, setting the screen for Fair.
Now, at this point, Alabama doesn't have to shoot quick, but they need to have a sense of urgency on the offensive end, and they definitely can't have turnovers or empty possessions. And I love this by Georgia Woolley, just coming up a little bit, a little token pressure to slow Alabama down.
McQueen rejected by Latham. That's her 6th block of the night. Timmons. Fair gambled. Nye makes her pay. First points of the second half for Aaliyah Nye. 7-point game. And thrown away. Turnover Syracuse. Nye to the basket for 2.
And that's the growth of Nye this season. A year ago, really only spotted up for 3. That time gets run off for 3, gets the rim to finish, and then gets another turnover.
McQueen can't finish. Foul on Cody, who tried to brace her fall and fell awkwardly onto Latham's foot.
Will McQueen gets that good look and
Oh, the McQueen got kicked by her teammate accidentally.
I mean, I think Latham got away with one there because she pulls Cody down with her.
So remember, Cody picked up 2 fouls in the opening minutes of the game. That's her first foul since those opening minutes. Pressure again, thrown in the backcourt. Fair, fastest player on the court, got there first, but couldn't hold on to it. McQueen, game chaotic at the moment. Nye, 4-3. Timeout, Syracuse. Maybe a little chaos is what Alabama needed to get back into it. With 1:44 to go, it's a 2-point game.
Eric, we got a little crimson chaos. Fair ran from weak side or all the way across the court to get that ball. We just couldn't grab it in. Alabama smartly pushing tempo here. And Eric, Nye on the catch, it's closed out, so she's not even in rhythm, and she makes this 3 go down.
She may not be in rhythm, but she's hot again.
I got to give the freshman Rachel Douglas credit. She knew it was going down before the ball even went through the net. She was celebrating.
So it's an 8-0 run for Alabama. Again, the 3-point shot has been there. They've done it quickly. Just 57 seconds, they've made it a 1-possession game.
And you got to believe, I got to believe Alabama's going to extend this pressure again now. No, she's going back with Latham to be the trigger. Latham's made some questionable inbounds passes against this pressure. But I would love to see Dyaisha Fair break to the ball here and get the ball in her hands and look to attack this press.
Rice. Rice calmly across half court. Fair, guarded by McQueen. Double comes from Timmons. Woolley on the pull-up. Latham fighting for the rebound. Got it! And the foul!
Time and time again this evening, Latham has come up with the big play. This time it's both the offensive rebound and the putback, and Newman was in her. This is a great example of the athleticism of Latham. Didn't matter if the body was in her, she's still able to elevate above her and get the and one.
22 and 12 for the freshman. 3-point play.
Alabama runs a sideline break here to get 9-3.
Wide open. That's short, though. Wood gets fouled by Bama.
I don't think Alabama was necessarily trying to foul there, but I honestly don't mind that. Wood only shooting 58% from the free throw line. At this point, Alabama's got to steal some possessions.
Bama over the limit, 1:15 to go. Syracuse to the free throw line in a 5-point game. Wood now with 9, 4 of 6 from the field. Double-double, 10 points, 12 rebounds. 2 Cuse players with double-doubles here tonight, Latham and Wood. Timmons will have a chance with the clock stopped to cut into the deficit. She'll shoot 2 with 1:06 to go.
I got to give Georgia Woolley credit yet again. She goes up to harass Loyola McQueen on an inbounds pass, and that prevents Alabama from getting that sideline break.
So Jessica Timmons will step to the free throw line for Alabama. First season with the Crimson Tide after transferring over from NC State. One of 2. Latham has another rebound. That's 13. Pressure from Bama in the backcourt again, and then Sarah Ashley Barker gets called for the foul. And Elena Rice will shoot 2.
And Latham was the worst free throw shooter on the floor for the Orange, so I'm surprised they didn't foul her on the rebound. And at this point, if you're Alabama, you should double box her because she's getting every rebound.
So Elena Rice to the line. Hasn't shown it today, but she's one to keep track throughout the season with the confidence she's shown in the beginning part of the season, the confidence that her head coach has in her, that she could be someone who will be in the running for most improved player in the ACC this year.
Absolutely. I mean, her numbers have been outstanding here early in the season, and I think just as importantly here at clutch time, she's stepped up to help her team.
8 points all in the second half. Timmons gets it to go for 2. We play on, 55 seconds to go. Into the hands of Fair.
A little surprised Syracuse didn't call timeout just to advance the ball.
Fair trying to dribble through trouble.
They had Latham under the rim, and they haven't seen her yet.
35 seconds to go. You saw Arkansas had knocked off Florida State to give the SEC a victory. Syracuse trying to close in on a win here. You need 8 wins to clinch the challenge, and the ACC will be a step closer if Syracuse can hold on here. 2-possession game at the moment. Elena Rice gets called for the personal foul. And it'll be free throws on the other end. That's it for Elena Rice. She fouls out. 8 points all in the second half for the grad student. Cody will step to the free throw line. 3 of 5 from the stripe tonight. As a team, Bama has struggled. 61% from the free throw line. No problem for the freshman on the first. One of 2 for Cody, and now a timeout's going to be called by Syracuse to advance it to the front court. 5-point game, 27 seconds to go. Been an impressive performance by the freshman, Alyssa Latham.
23 points, the 3 in the first half. She has done it inside. She's done it defensively with the blocks. She's been active. This is not a player who looks to rest on one end or the other. She has made herself available in the half-court offense, and most importantly, she has been a beast on the glass here for the Orange this evening.
Career high 23 points, go along with the 13 rebounds, her 3rd double-double of the season, and she is tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Dixie Ultra. Alabama will look to turn Syracuse over here first. Syracuse has turned it over 24 times here tonight. That's help offset their big advantage on the glass. Cuse a plus 22 in rebounding margin. Fair is fouled by Nye. Second foul on Nye. Dyaisha Fair to the line for Syracuse. She's got 19, and the lead is 6. Chance to stretch it out to a 3-possession advantage for Syracuse. 20 points and a timeout being called by Alabama. They will advance into the front court with 26.1 to go, but now down by 7.
If you're Alabama, you've got to get a quick 2 here, driving to the rim, which has not been their strength to finish at the rim this evening, or get a quick 3. Alabama cannot afford any empty possessions the rest of this game.
We're not done tonight. When we are done here, more basketball to come. Texas A&M on the road at Wake Forest. A&M's won 3 in a row. They're 5-1 the season. The defense has been very good for this A&M team. Right now, 7th in Division I in opponent field goal percentage. So you'll see Janiah Barker and Texas A&M taking on a Wake Forest team. You think they're better than what their record showed so far?
Absolutely. The last couple of losses have been much closer, and I just think that's a team that needs time. A lot of new faces because of the departure of due to the transfer portal. And I watched a little bit of their game against Davidson, and they've shown glimpses of some really good things to come for this team this year.
Virginia with a win in overtime tonight over Mizzou. Duke with a win tonight in overtime over Georgia in Athens. Arkansas with the victory over 15th ranked Florida State in Tallahassee. This one's not done yet. McQueen's got it. Trying to find Nye, you would think. Instead, it's Timmons who's had a few looks here. That 3 is off the mark. Cody with the putback for 2. And Syracuse will take another timeout. They'll bring it to the front court with 16.4 to go. 32nd timeout here for Syracuse.
If I'm Alabama here, I try to get a 5-second count. They don't have time to let any more precious seconds go off this clock. And then if you can't, it doesn't matter who catches it. You have to foul immediately.
Mention the other scores tonight. Arkansas with the victory on the road.
The only thing that surprises me about this Arkansas-Florida State score is that it wasn't in the hundreds. 2 high-octane offenses, and Arkansas to hold Florida State to 58 is
I know the reason why, though. Florida State shot 29% from the field. Arkansas shot 32% from the field. Does that answer your question? Yeah, that'll do it. Trying to get the 5 count. Woolley Knocked out of play by Barker. And we'll do it again. 15.5 to go. Woolley throws it into the front court to the freshman Sophie Burrows. Aussie to Aussie. And she'll head to the free throw line to shoot a couple here and try to put it away for Syracuse. Alabama's next game is against Coastal Carolina at Coleman Coliseum on Wednesday. Their SEC opener is against Ole Miss on January the 4th. Syracuse will host Northeastern here at the Dome on Monday. Their ACC opener comes New Year's Eve against Notre Dame. Notre Dame with an impressive victory. They were down 16 in the second half at Tennessee, came back to win. Give a victory to the ACC. Syracuse trying to give another win to the ACC. Contested three for Sarah Ashley Barker. It comes out to Dyaisha Fair. Over to Woolley. Final 4 seconds. Down to 3. And that will do it. Syracuse makes it 3 straight wins. They knock off Alabama 79-73 the final.